Bro, no bueno. Sicko gonna mess with your BMR. Have you tried ketovore? Maybe like 16.8 with 5.2? Speak that sentence to me like 3 years ago, I'd say, what language is that? What drugs are you on? And do you have extra? With how confusing some of the terminology can be, I thought I might be able to contribute with a basic fasting glossary of terms, and I'll include some other health-related words that I've had to learn along my fasting journey. All right, we're gonna try and get through this as quickly as possible. 1-1 is 1 day eating followed by a day of not eating, also known as alternate day fasting. 5-2 is 5 days of eating and 2 days of food restriction or fasting, typically under 25% of your TDEE or under 500 to 600 calories on those fasting days. Some find it actually easier to go 0 calories during those 2 days, and they do not have to be consecutive days. 16-8. The most popular one and easiest to get into, a non-eating window of 16 hours with an 8-hour eating or feeding window. 18-6, you can guess it. 24, come on now. 23-1 is also known as OMAD, or 1 meal a day, a non-eating window of 23 hours with a 1-hour eating or feeding window. ACV, short for apple cider vinegar, which can actually help with hunger cravings during a fast and aids the gut. Anorexia, it's an eating disorder characterized by a distorted body image with an unwarranted fear of being overweight. Symptoms may include trying to maintain a below normal weight through starvation or too much exercise. Apoptosis is programmed cell death. For instance, fasting can induce tumor cell apoptosis. Autophagy, one of the most appealing benefits to do a fast, it translates to self-eating and refers to the process of the body targeting damaged cells for breakdown and then rebuild. Fasting-induced autophagy generally peaks around the 3rd day of an extended fast. It's kind of like a bell curve. Bed, it's where the magic happens. Or no, that's BED. Okay, yeah, binge eating disorder is the frequent consuming of unusually large amounts of food in one sitting and feeling that eating behavior is out of control. This has definitely been one of my struggles in the past. Occasionally still happens, but ever since I've been doing these fasting protocols, my inclination to binge eat has dramatically subsided. BMI is short for body mass index, derived from the mass and height of a person. It is a flawed metric for health. BMR, short for basal metabolic rate, it's the number of calories your body needs to perform its most basic functions. Body dysmorphia, a mental health disorder involving obsessive focus on a perceived flaw in appearance. Bone broth fast. It's a type of fast that only allows bone broth. The collagen in bone broth helps improve digestive function and improve skin appearance. However, the protein in bone broth may pause, stop, or reduce autophagic benefits from a water fast. Breakfast or break fast. Wiki has it as the first meal eaten after waking from a night's sleep in the morning in general. In the fasting world, it's seen as the meal that breaks the fast or the first food consumed following a fast. Bulimia, potentially a life-threatening eating disorder. It's often characterized by a person binge eating, followed by steps to avoid weight gain like purging or vomiting, and excessive amounts of exercise, and even sometimes abstaining from food or fasting. Bulletproof Coffee, popularized by Dave Asprey. It's a blended coffee drink made with grass-fed unsalted butter and MCT oil. Its high fat, low protein, zero carb profile makes it popular amongst keto and fasting enthusiasts. Calcium, it's an essential mineral for life and one of the electrolytes commonly supplemented by fasting enthusiasts. Calorie is a unit of energy. Calorie restriction typically refers to reducing average daily calories. Carbohydrates are a type of macronutrient or fuel, along with fat and protein. Sugar, starches, and fiber are carbohydrates. Carnivore diet. It's a diet that includes only animal foods from organ meat to eggs. CICO, or CICO, short for calories in, calories out. It's a method for losing weight by reducing food calories and exercising daily to create a caloric deficit. This method can have negative effects on a person's metabolism over time. Circadian rhythm. It's the daily natural internal process that regulates our sleep and wake cycles. This process responds to light and dark, affecting most living things on the planet. A poor circadian rhythm can have dramatically adverse effects on a person's weight, metabolism, and mental health. CR is short for calorie restriction. Diabetes type 2. It's an impairment in the way the body regulates and uses sugar or glucose as fuel. This long-term or chronic condition results in too much sugar circulating in the bloodstream. Eventually, high blood sugar levels can lead to disorders of the circulatory, nervous, and immune systems. The issue is insulin resistance, where either there is a lack of this hormone that regulates the movement of sugar into cells, or cells responding poorly to insulin and taking in less sugar than it should. Diet generally refers to the kinds of foods that an organism eats. Note that fasting does not say anything about the kinds of foods that you eat, so remember that fasting is not a diet. Diet culture refers to a set of beliefs that values thinness, appearance, and shape above health and well-being. Dehydration is the loss or removal of water from something. In fasting, improper water-salt intake can lead to dehydration and symptoms like fatigue, headaches, and nausea. Detox, a process or period of time in which one abstains from or rids the body of toxic or unhealthy substances. Dirty fast is used to describe consuming nominal amounts of calories, usually up to 100 calories, during a fasting window. An example is someone who allows themselves heavy cream in their coffee. Dry fasting, also called absolute fasting. This restricts all forms of calories, food, and liquids. There is a soft and a hard dry fast, with the latter even restricting any water from touching the body. So no showers or brushing your teeth. Eating disorders. They are mental health conditions marked by an obsession with food or body shape. They can affect anyone, but most prevalent among young women. Electrolytes. In nutrition, the term refers to the essential minerals found in your body, sweat, and urine that can carry an electrical charge. They play an important role in conducting nervous impulses, contracting muscles, keeping you hydrated, and regulating your body's pH levels. Poor levels during a fast can result in dehydration, headaches, nausea, and fatigue. Extended fasting, aka prolonged fasting, it's used to describe a fast or food restriction that extends beyond 24 hours. Fasting is the willful refrainment from eating and sometimes drinking. Fasting is not the same as starving. Fat shaming, the action or practice of humiliating someone judged to be fat or overweight by making mocking or critical comments about their size. Ferritin, produced by almost all living organisms, it's a protein which serves to store and release iron in the body. Food triggers are foods that when eaten make you crave and possibly eat more. Generally, these foods are eaten out of habit or times of distress and are not necessarily eaten out of actual hunger. My food triggers are generally anything with like real sugar in it, so cakes, ice creams, whipped cream, Beyonce, that might set me off on a binge. Gastrointestinal tract is basically the tract from the mouth to the anus. Anus? Anus. Ghrelin, often referred to as the hunger hormone. It is produced in the gastrointestinal tract and stimulates appetite, increases food intake, and promotes fat storage. Levels of ghrelin are usually highest before your typical meal times, and during an extended fast usually subsides by the third day after gluconeogenesis. Glucagon. It's a hormone produced in the pancreas that regulates the blood concentration of glucose in the body. Gluconeogenesis. It refers to the process of converting non-carbohydrate carbon substrates like muscle into glucose. In fasting, the process is typically most active on the third day after glycogen depletion, right before the body switches to fat for fuel. This process preferentially slows thereafter until the fat stores have all been used and the body enters into actual starvation mode. Glucose. It's a simple sugar, which is an important energy source in living organisms and is a component of many carbohydrates. Glycogen is a form of storage for glucose. Gut refers to the gastrointestinal tract. Gut flora is the population of microbiota in the gut. Gut health refers to the diversity of the gut flora and the ratio of good microbiota to the bad. HBP, short for high blood pressure or hypertension. It is a condition in which the force of the blood against the artery walls is too high. Less than 120/80 is generally considered normal. Excess weight can contribute to hypertension. I actually was on atenolol, but through like a period of 6 months, losing weight and fasting, I was able to actually get off the drug, thankfully. HGH, or human growth hormone. It's produced in the pituitary gland and spurs growth and plays a key role in body composition, cell repair, and metabolism. Essentially, it's fat burning and muscle building. Multiple studies have shown fasting increases HGH production, some by as much as 2,000%. HIIT, or high intensity interval training, is a form of exercise in which short periods of extremely demanding activity are alternated with much less intense recovery periods. Some research has shown that a 3-minute HIIT session can yield nearly the same benefits as longer aerobic exercises. Himalayan pink salt. Sourced from the Himalaya mountains of South Asia, it's 98% sodium chloride, with the rest being trace minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Those are also electrolytes that fasting enthusiasts will consider supplementing during an extended fast. I usually don't add special supplements during an extended fast, at least up to 14 days, other than increasing my pink salt consumption. Typically, I'll take 2 to 3 teaspoons per day for me during this time, but your mileage may vary. Homeostasis, the tendency toward a relatively stable equilibrium between interdependent elements, especially as maintained by physiological processes. All right, so here's an example. Give a hypertensive patient high blood pressure lowering medicines. That can lead to rebound hypertension upon acute cessation because the body is trying to go in the opposite direction for balance. High blood pressure medicine lowers high blood pressure, body tries to balance. All right, now make that patient exercise and it actually drives high blood pressure up or blood pressure up. So exercise brings it up. What does the body want to do? It wants to bring it back down. So the chronic exposure to exercise actually helps lower blood pressure over time. Homeostatic capacity. It refers to the capability of systems to self-stabilize in response to external forces or stressors, or more simply, the capability of systems to maintain homeostasis or balance. HRV, short for heart rate variability, it's a biomarker that tracks the time variations between heartbeats. Greater variability suggests a more robust system and is a cheap and simple indicator or marker for health and longevity. I worked for the Palo Alto Longevity Prize, and this was the marker they chose to determine the winner. Hunger is to have a strong desire or craving for something. I differentiate hunger, which is more emotional to me, from starvation, which is more physical. Hypertension means high blood pressure. Hypotension means low blood pressure and is the opposite of hypertension and can occur with extended fasts leading to fainting spells, which is why it's important to monitor your water and salt levels the longer into an extended fast you go. So many words, at least for this video, so we're gonna end it here. But please come back for the second part of this duology. I'm actually editing it right now, but if I've missed anything so far, please let me know in the comment section so everyone can read it. And it makes a difference, so I gotta say, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love it if you did. Thanks for watching, be well, and don't forget to smile.